Thank you, Stephen, for that kind introduction. Thank you to everyone for tuning into this exciting and timely event. We appreciate the contributions from all the presenters and participants. President Biden made it clear from his first day in office that combating the climate crisis is a top policy priority for the whole of the US government, across the cabinet and every department and agency. That's why President Biden took the unprecedented step of appointing a special presidential envoy for climate, SPEC, former Secretary John Kerry, to spearhead the complex and wide-ranging climate diplomacy that will be essential for success. The United States leadership role was on full display during the President's World Leaders Summit last year in April. At the beginning of this program, my colleague Catherine Duholm, Director for Mexican Affairs from the US Department of State, addressed the key roles that entrepreneurs and ventures will play in the fight against climate change and the collaborative nature needed in our response. And now I have the pleasure of presenting and talking to you about the role of public-private partnerships from our office, the Office of Global Partnerships at the US Department of State. Everyone involved today knows that climate change is a complex issue, and success requires more than just a whole of government effort, but the whole of society approach. We need to leverage the expertise and resources of everyone and everywhere. My office built and manages a partnership with leading US accelerators, including Y Combinator, Techstars, ERA, SPG Partners, and others, to support global innovation entrepreneurship efforts called startups. The startups public-private partnership is focused on strengthening the global startup ecosystems and catalyzing US business expansion in emerging markets. Today's convening is part of the startups public partnership. These strategic convenings will facilitate connections among entrepreneurs, investors, ecosystem builders, and governments. They are part of a growing number of entrepreneurial climate-focused events and programs in priority countries identified by SPEC. In fact, just last week, earlier in New York at the Concordia Summit, SPEC Kerry previewed the Climate Entrepreneurs for Economic Development, also aptly called SEED, was presented with none other than LinkedIn, which is the biggest kind of career platform in the world, in encouraging entrepreneurs to get into solutions provisions of the climate crisis. Together, we can scale promising and market-based responses addressing the climate crisis. Even in virtual setting, we can accomplish so much. We are excited to focus on the partnership opportunities that are growing in the entrepreneurial ecosystem just in Mexico. However, these convenings are just the beginning. I would like to take a moment before we start the hard work and actually the huge task of turning these words into action. And I would like to pass my gratitude and our appreciation to the Public Foundation and their local collaborators, Coca-Cola, for making this event a possibility. The saying is very true, that if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And we have gone together much further with these conversations on addressing climate change in Mexico and in the broader region. We've heard from incredible organizations such as UNDP, Ashoka, IDB, OVP, and many others on what they're doing in their respective regions and their respective areas. But we hope that we also talk about how we collaborate with each other to address these issues. And finally, I met with the SPEC Kerry's team earlier today, and they encouraged me to share with you the fact that visiting Mexico is one of the high priority for Secretary Kerry. And he looks forward to visiting it and having these conversations with all of you in Mexico. We thank you again on behalf of the US Department of State and the entire consortium that made this possible. And we hope these conversations will continue to mature and turn into conversations to collaborations and partnerships. Thank you.